Welcome to US Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: the actors' strike was supposed to be over, but it's not. Here's why. The story behind Steve Scalise and David Duke that helped end a bid for Speaker. Senator Bob Menendez faces new charges accusing him of working for foreign government. New Hampshire man admits leaving threatening voicemail for Matt Gaetz. Chris Kreider scores twice, Rangers beat Sabres 5-1 in season opener. The actors' strike was supposed to be over, but it's not. Here's why. The Sydney Morning Herald. Negotiations between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, AMPTP, and the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, have broken down, prolonging the 3-month actors' strike in Hollywood. The key sticking point is the union's proposal to have their share of streaming revenue delivered as a bonus to cast members, which AMPTP says would cost $800 million per year. In response, SAG-AFTRA stated that this figure was exaggerated and that its proposal would cost streaming platforms 57 cents per subscriber per year. The story behind Steve Scalise and David Duke that helped end a bid for Speaker. Washington Post. Nancy Mace, a member of the House Republican Conference, has withdrawn her support for Representative Steve Scalise, Law, as House GOP Speaker nominee. Mace stated that she could not in good conscience vote for Scalise, who had previously attended a white supremacist conference and compared himself to David Duke. Scalise was confirmed to have spoken at a conference of Duke's European Unity and Rights Organization, Euro, in 2002, and has since confirmed that he spoke at a group whose views I wholeheartedly condemn. Kenny Knight, a political advisor to Duke, stated that Scalise spoke at an event hosted by his local civic organization, which was separate from the Euro conference. It remains unclear whether Scalise spoke at the Euro conference or not, and Scalise's office has yet to clarify. Mace's withdrawal from the race forced Scalise to withdraw and has left the party searching for a new speaker to replace the recently ousted Kevin McCarthy. Senator Bob Menendez faces new charges accusing him of working for foreign government. Yahoo! Senator Bob Menendez has been hit with new charges accusing him of accepting bribes from a foreign government and conspiring to act as a foreign agent. The new indictment alleges that Menendez provided sensitive U.S. government information and took other steps that secretly aided the government of Egypt. Menendez could face up to 2 years in prison for failing to register as an agent of a foreign power. Last month, Menendez and his wife pleaded not guilty to corruption charges alleging that they used his influence to pocket hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. Menendez has denied all wrongdoing and rejected calls for his resignation. He has asked for the chance to present his defense and show his innocence. Senator John Fetterman has called for a vote to expel Menendez from the Senate. Expulsion would require 2/3 of the full Senate to vote in favor of removing Menendez. Menendez is the first sitting U.S. senator to face indictments on 2 unrelated criminal allegations. New Hampshire man admits leaving threatening voicemail for Matt Gaetz. Yahoo! A New Hampshire resident has pleaded guilty to transmitting a threat in interstate commerce after leaving a voicemail message at the Washington, D.C. office of a member of Congress. Alan Poehler admitted that he was the individual who threatened Representative Matt Gaetz, stating, "If you keep on coming for the gays, we're gonna strike back. We will kill you if that's what it takes." Poehler admitted to leaving the message and told investigators he did not actually plan to harm Gaetz and did not own a firearm. He faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Chris Kreider scores twice, Rangers beat Sabres 5-1 in season opener. Associated Press. The New York Rangers defeated the Buffalo Sabres 5-1 in their season opener. Chris Kreider scored power play and shorthanded goals, while Igor Shesterkin made 23 saves for his 100th career victory. The win marked Peter Laviolette's debut as coach for the Rangers. Artemi Panarin, Alexis Lafreniere, and Jacob Trouba also scored for New York. In another game, the Philadelphia Flyers beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-2, with goals from Joel Farabee and Travis Konechny in the first period. Carter Hart made 31 saves for the Flyers. Blue Jackets defenseman Zach Werenski left the game with a leg injury. Gutenberg. The Musical. Review, a mock Broadway biography. Wall Street Journal. Gutenberg. The Musical is a comedic show about 2 theater enthusiasts who want to put on a Broadway show about the inventor of the printing press, Johannes Gutenberg. The show has had a substantial run off Broadway, but has now come to Broadway due to the fame of its 2 stars, Josh Gad and Andrew Rannells. The show pokes fun at musical theater while relying on the genre's appeal, and portrays a fictionalized version of Gutenberg's story. The show is humorous, but the central gag is established from the beginning and does not evolve much throughout. Ex-tax worker admits leaking Trump income records. BBC. A former IRS contractor has pleaded guilty to leaking former President Donald Trump's personal tax records and stealing tax data from thousands of other wealthy Americans. Charles Littlejohn admitted to disclosing tax return information in court and identified Trump as one of the individuals whose information he leaked. He also admitted to providing information about Trump's taxes to media outlets The New York Times and ProPublica. Littlejohn is due to be sentenced in January and faces up to 5 years in prison. Trump's lawyers opposed any plea deal and called for the maximum penalty. The leaked tax records showed that Trump paid a low amount in taxes, and the New York Times reported that he paid just $750 in federal income tax in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Six Doctor, your trusted observer from the six dimensions. Today, we have a whirlwind of news stories from around the world. So, let's dive right in. First up, we have the never-ending Hollywood drama. The actors' strike in Hollywood was supposed to be over, but negotiations between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers and the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, have broken down. The key issue is the union's proposal to have their share of streaming revenue delivered as a bonus to cast members. The producers argue that this would cost them a whopping $800 million per year, while the union insists it would only cost streaming platforms a mere 57 cents per subscriber per year. Oh, the drama! Moving on to the political arena, we have a scandal involving Representative Steve Scalise. It turns out that he attended a white supremacist conference and compared himself to David Duke. Nancy Mace, a member of the House Republican Conference, withdrew her support for Scalise as the House GOP Speaker nominee. The controversy surrounding Scalise's past affiliations has left the party searching for a new speaker. Oh, the plot thickens. In another political scandal, Senator Bob Menendez is facing new charges, accusing him of accepting bribes from a foreign government and conspiring to act as a foreign agent. Menendez could face up to 2 years in prison for failing to register as an agent of a foreign power. Last month, Menendez and his wife pleaded not guilty to corruption charges alleging that they used his influence to pocket hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. Senator John Fetterman has called for a vote to expel Menendez from the Senate. Talk about a political roller coaster. On a lighter note, let's talk about sports. The New York Rangers had a triumphant season opener, defeating the Buffalo Sabres 5-1. Chris Kreider scored 2 goals, and Igor Shesterkin made 23 saves for his 100th career victory. It looks like the Rangers are off to a good start. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Flyers beat the Columbus Blue Jackets, with goals from Joel Farabee and Travis Konecny. Carter Hart made 31 saves for the Flyers. Go team! Now, let's head to Broadway, where Gutenberg, the musical, is making waves. This comedic show follows 2 theater enthusiasts who want to put on a Broadway show about the inventor of the printing press, Johannes Gutenberg. The show pokes fun at musical theater while telling a fictionalized version of Gutenberg's story. With the fame of its stars, Josh Gad and Andrew Rannells, the show has made its way from off-Broadway to the big stage. It's a hilarious ride through the world of musical theater. Last but not least, we have a shocking revelation about former President Donald Trump's tax records. A former IRS contractor has pleaded guilty to leaking Trump's personal tax records and stealing tax data from thousands of other wealthy Americans. The leaked records showed that Trump paid a low amount in taxes, with reports suggesting he paid just $750 in federal income tax in 2016. Talk about a bombshell. And now, my dear viewers, it's time for me to turn the spotlight to you. What are your thoughts on these news stories? Do you have any burning questions or insightful comments? Don't be shy, let your voice be heard. As always, I'll be eagerly waiting to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the 6 dimensions. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.